Okay, welcome everybody to our LifeWave team meeting with Francis Parker. Francis is going to be walking us through what to do to build your business. He's got some very special techniques that he's learned over his 35 years in network marketing. I've known him for 25 years, and Francis has been incredible at promoting and reaching out to people about new products, and he's one of the most successful people I know who is in network marketing, and he's a great inspiration. I'm so glad he invited John and me to join LifeWave with him, because it's been incredible for us too. So Francis, why don't you go ahead and begin? I'll mute myself while you talk and unmute.
Oh, delighted, Katrina, and you and John are inspirations to me. You always have been. And it's going on 26 years. I think July will be 26 years when we met at lunch that one time back in, I guess it was 1994. That was quite a day when we got to meet. Anyway, quarter of a century. Oh my God, where'd the time go, right? Anyway, I'm really excited to be here. I talk to people every day, and people are missing some pieces, and that's why the success is eluding them. The one thing that if you were going into the Olympics, or you were going to have a world champion fight, or you were going to do something that was really, really important, you'd prepare for it. You know, if you were an Olympic skier, you practice skiing. If you were an Olympic fighter, you'd box every day. You'd run and jump rope. I think what happens here is people want this to happen overnight. And by the way, it can happen overnight if you're prepared. But the first thing is, this is going to sound very trite, but the first thing is you have to be willing to be successful. And then you have to be willing to define what success is for you. It might be $2,000 a month, or it might be $2,000 a week, or it might be $20,000 a week. Everybody has a different definition. The other thing to remember is, what is your image of certain things? What's the image of yourself? The image of yourself is what you think, what you say, and what you do. Because that's the way life is. You think something, you say it, and then you do it. What is that like for your business? What do you think about your business? Do you treat it like somebody you love? I do. I think about my business as somebody I love. I treat it with a lot of love and care, and I check in on it regularly, and this is how I treat my business. I don't take it for granted, because like any relationship, if you take it for granted, it's going to go away. So I'm very careful and diligent on what's going on with the business. I check volumes. I check in with my team, and a lot of you that are on this call know I check in with you regularly. And it's not just for business. You guys know that I care about you. When I sponsor you, I care about you, and I care about your success, and I care about how you feel, and I care about the direction you're going in. And I might help you, maybe redirect you on things. And really, that's what a leader does. So if you're doing that with your team, then you're a leader. And if you're not doing that with your team, they're probably going to fall off. They're probably not going to be your team much longer. The one thing about, relationships out there is if you're with somebody and they don't pay any attention to you, you're going to let go of that, and you're going to go someplace where somebody is paying attention to you. So you've got to pay attention to your business. You've got to just see it every day, watch the volume. By the way, last week was a really good week. With this whole crazy coronavirus thing, we had a really good week. And I'm proud of you guys. I really am, because, my week is based on your week. So I know you've gone up. You've gone up in volume, all of you guys. So the first thing I do in the morning is I do a little meditation, and I do a little prayer. I do something called segment intending. So, for instance, if I have a meeting from 12 to 3. I intend from 12 to 3 to be very, very good. I intend it. I absolutely know it's going to be great. Like this weekend, a lot of people from this weekend believe that this was kind of a spiritual weekend, a weekend where everybody wanted to focus on peace and the healing of the virus and the opening of businesses. And I just tuned into that, and I just felt so good about it because I know this is going to turn around. And I'm also extremely grateful for this business and for all of you. And that's another thing. Do you feel gratitude when you wake up in the morning that everything works? Your eyes work, your ears work. I mean, it sounds trite, but it's really true. Do you feel grateful when you wake up in the morning that everything is working, that you have air conditioning in your home if you're in a hot place, or you have heat in your home where it's a cold place? Taking things for granted is a very big no-no. Fill your heart with gratitude, love, appreciation. And that's what I do literally every day. And I do it a few times a day. I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll acknowledge. Look at my backyard. It's the woods. How many creatures back there are enjoying what I'm enjoying? How many people in the world are enjoying what I'm enjoying? I have to be very thankful for that. So another thing that I think is so important, are you prepared to do your business? What is your business? Your business is sending out a message and directing people. I've given you guys the metaphor many, many times before. You're a movie maker. People who make movies, the first thing they want to see is your story or your message. And then once that is established, then they want a director. So for instance, I have a very dear close friend named Greg who wrote Hacksaw Ridge about Desmond. Let's see, what's Desmond's last name? Desmond Doss, D-O-S-S, the conscientious objector in Virginia, who actually became a superstar in the Army without carrying a gun. He just saved about 500 people, I think. So he brought that story in, and then they got Mel Gibson, who is a world famous director. And then guess what? As soon as everybody knew that this was a great story and that Mel Gibson was directing, all the actors started showing up all over the place, and then it was a hit movie. So you got to ask yourself, do you want a hit movie? Are you really willing to develop that good story that's going to compel people? Not all people, but lots of people. Are you going to write that story? Are you going to find out what works out? What works out? How does it sound to somebody else? That's a big deal. How does that story sound to other people? Is it going to wake them up? Okay. If it's going to wake them up, then you can direct them. How do you direct them? Well, the first thing you do is you send them to information that adds on to your information, like videos and audios. And I don't know how many people, a lot of you guys came on because of the audios and the videos I sent you, which gave a lot of credence and a lot of credibility to what LifeWave is, especially the X39 patch. Wow. And so many of you have had benefits. That's why your businesses have all grown. So I'm prepared. I wake up in the morning, I get my shower, I put my clothes on, I have a little breakfast, and then I think about what my sheet says. My sheet will say, who do I have to call today? Who am I going to introduce to LifeWave? Who am I going to follow up with? I'm going to ask them, did they watch the video? Did they listen to the audio I sent them? And if they did, then I'm going to go to another step, and that's, well, what do you think? Would you like to partner up with me in business? Would you like to change some things in your life? Are you willing to develop new skills? Are you willing to get more conscious and excited about your life? Because if you think about your life, boy, compared to many, many human beings in the world. Your life is so good. And here, people are afraid to be rejected, or people are afraid to not win in that moment. Who cares? It doesn't matter. When many people who've rejected me 6 months ago are now starting to ask for more information, because I was okay with them rejecting the offer. They weren't really rejecting me. That was a poor choice of words on my part. They were really rejecting my offer. And sometimes people want to take your offer up later on. So I work on always improving my message to people, always improving my direction for people. And every day is a new day. I live a life of humility. Every day is new. Yesterday wasn't the same as today, and tomorrow won't be the same as today. Every moment is new. Now, if things still aren't working for me, then I have to think about my belief system. What do I believe? Do I believe in myself? Do I love and appreciate myself? Do I believe in myself? And then the next thing is, do I believe in the product, specifically the X39? Do I believe in that? What is it I don't trust about it? If things are not going well, what is it that I'm not trusting about that? Maybe I need to do a whole new belief change about it. When I'm talking about the business, do I believe there's people out there that want to do this business? Well, if I'm finding people that don't want to do this business, then I better change my beliefs, because your beliefs are your software in your mind. What do you believe? What do you believe about the business? What do you believe about the product? What do you believe about yourself? Now, what do you believe about the compensation program? Well, I haven't looked at it carefully. Well, that is not very smart, because the compensation program can change your life when you really understand the power of it. And it's changed my life. I started August 5th, and I'm going on 9 months soon, and my life is it's a completely different life. It's not an overhaul of the first life that I had after I had my operation, but it's completely new. And what I love about my life is I can take beautiful people with me who I love and adore, like Katharina and John, like Kathy and Richard, like Gina. I can take people along with me, and I can help them and nurture them and direct them. And I'm just grateful for the team, Onyx and Kathy and Ron Ledford, and my wonderful new best friend, Robin Muscari, and my old best friend, Kai Jacobson. These are remarkable people. And if you haven't met them, maybe you want to text them and see if they're available to talk for 10 minutes. They're very, very busy, very, very remarkably successful people. So, we don't want to take up too much of their time. At a convention, what you want to do is you want to take them to lunch. Well, wait a minute. I'm just barely making it. And they're multimillionaires. Yes, that's why you want to take them to lunch. You want to find out how they became multimillionaires. So, sit at your desk. Is it neat and clean? Is it orderly? Do you have all the information in front of you that you need to be able to talk to somebody? Do you fumble when you talk on phone? Well, hi, Bill. I want to talk to you about LifeWave. Well, what is it? It's a patch, and it's a... No, let it come out of your mouth really relaxed, with a lot of confidence. Practice. The one thing about a great actor is he practices, or she practices, her lines regularly. Instead of driving in a car, listening to music, practice your lines over and over again. Practice your questions. Based on what you saw, Nancy, what do you think about LifeWave? Were you excited about the X39 patch? You got to surround yourself with positive people too. That's a big one for me. If somebody's negative or they're weak or whatever, I'm always going to help them, but they can't be negative. And if somebody is negative in your life, you have some choices. You can either help them become positive, or you can do a friendectomy. That means cut out that friend. So you got to be prepared for success. You got to be prepared for it. It's a long journey, but it's a fun journey. I love watching Katharina and John enjoy themselves and finding every single Indian restaurant in North America. How they go and they drive from place to place to place, and they find the great coffee shops, they find the great Indian restaurants, and they go all over the country like that. So they make their travel between Georgia and between San Diego a pleasure, a joy, and they have a lot of fun with it. So this is the way your life could be. See it as a journey. So I wake up in the morning, 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, I do all my East Coast and perhaps Midwest calls, because it's not too early there. And then around noon, I might call the West Coast, because 12 o'clock my time is 9 o'clock their time. So I'm organized about it, you know. I'm not just all good looks, you know. I'm actually smart too. What kind of, sorta. Anyway, Katharina, maybe we'll open this up to some questions, because I think it's important. I think the information I gave is my secrets and my really, you know, my vision. That's another thing, guys. You know, you've got to vision your future. You've got to vision it. Is your future filled with a lot of LifeWave success? So, okay, so what does that mean, really? What is success to you? Success to me is having a lot of happy people enjoying the X39 and the other patches and wanting to share it and duplicate. Because without duplication, you look at, for instance, McDonald's. If there was only one McDonald's, it wouldn't be a multi-billionaire company. It duplicated itself in a form called a franchise. So we duplicate or replicate ourselves in a form of a network marketing opportunity. And that opportunity is the best in the world, called LifeWave. So Katharina, do you think it would be good to open up for questions?
Yes, Francis. Before we do that, though, I'd like to make a few comments and remind people of some of the resources that we now have access to. There's a couple of new people on the call, Carol and Felix and perhaps some others. And so you're talking about your vision for your company. Absolutely. And part of that is building your pillars of belief. So I'd like to refer you to Kai Jacobson's recent talk. And for those of you who have understood patch 3 people and follow up, well, how do I patch people? Well, there's a number of videos that Marcy and Peter have done, but also Ron Ledford has a 1-page sample kit that he recommends at xbizbox.com. And there's a video where Ron Ledford walks people through the rationale behind that system and why it's working so well. And then for those of you who are new and need to get set up with your payments, in the back office, there's the LifeWave cash card setup that has to happen. And if anybody needs help with that, give us a call. I'm happy to help you to get set up to get payments, because that's part of the exciting thing, is to get weekly checks. They pay weekly, not monthly or every other 2 weeks. So, and if you don't understand the compensation plan, I have to admit, the document that's in the back office was confusing to me. I've never done network marketing before this. And so it was a foreign concept of well, I get paid how many ways, and what does that mean in practical terms? There's a fantastic compensation, how to get paid video that Peter and Marcy have done, and there's a link to that in the welcome document that I have. So if anybody needs that information, please give me a call or email me or get in touch with Francis, and he'll refer you to me. Okay. So now I'm going to open it up to everybody who would like to ask a question. Anybody?
Christina, this is Gina. How are you?
Hi, Gina. Welcome to the call.
Thank you. Yes, I would love to receive what you just talked about, your welcome package.
Okay.
And email is always the best. I have to create systems at work because otherwise I get scattered. So if anything that you have to send, including a call or anything, could you please email it to me? That's what works best for me, if that works for you.
Absolutely. That's easy to do.
Okay. That's great. Thank you.
Now, this is for you guys who don't know Gina Rhoda. You should get to know her. She's a wonderful numerologist and a soul sister of mine from Los Angeles, and really, really wonderful. And she's really sponsored some great people. So, Gina, thanks for all your hard work.
Well, thank you, Francis. Thank you for bringing this beautiful business to me. But really, for me, it's about the quality of health that I have been able to cultivate, and also feeling good, also looking better, gives you more inspiration to building health and building wealth are pretty much one thing for me. And so it's been a slow burn, but I am so grateful for the opportunity. Thank you. And thank you and Onyx very much. And I love the business more than any business I've ever done or experienced, because the level of health and how that I have received, and how many people that I have served with their health, that's very gratifying. You wake up in the morning, you have text, so-and-so doesn't have pain today, or somebody's having an experience or a result, and that's a beautiful thing to wake up to. So it's about sharing blessings with people, and LifeWave is a blessing, and it's a miracle in my life. So that's what I have to say.
Hear, hear, Gina. Hear, hear. Very wonderfully said. You said the word inspiration, and the root is inspiros, in spirit. And I really believe that I am feeling a lot of deep connection, deep connection since I've been on the X39 patch.
Yeah.
And I also feel a deeper love these days. And I just feel inspired. I feel more sensitive. I feel more compassion since I've been on the patch. I might watch a TV show and I might weep from it, just because even though we know it's not real, my sensitivity has gone up quite a bit. And I hold that to the patch. I believe the patch has made a big difference in that way. Of course, I wake up feeling good every day from the X39 patch. But yeah, thank you very, very much, Gina. You're awesome, and I'm glad I could share this with you and have you come along. I'm so glad you decided to take the journey.
Yeah, so exciting. And one last thought is, I accidentally call it LightWave, and I almost never say LifeWave, but it's both. It's a light. We are light. It activates our light, but we're surfing the light and life wave, and I really focus on the spiritual aspect of this product. It has a high resonance for me, and that's even a bigger reason, or a more important reason for me to support people to experience LifeWave.
Well, I think it was either Edison or Einstein said the future of medicine is light and sound, and photolight therapy is what the X39 and all the patches are. They're photolight therapy, and they're really the future. So we're using a product that really comes out of 2040. It's not a 2020 product, it's a 2040 product. And so we're ahead of the curve. And that's why I say go out there and share this, folks, but get good at sharing. Get good at sharing. Make sure you don't stumble over stuff. Memorize your lines so they just pop out easily and elegantly. Become a great communicator. Relax. Help your prospect feel relaxed when you talk to them. I think that's critical. Communication really is everything. Do we have any other questions or comments that you'd like to add to the call?
Hey, Francis, this is Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Hi. So what is the number one thing for someone like me and Felix, who are new, and Gina, who's getting going? What's the number one thing that we need to do?
Well, to me, it's getting your vision clear. You know, where do you want to go? Who do you want to be? How do you want to be it? You know, I would say that might be number one. Number two is to figure out your system. What is your system? Flying by the seat of your pants is not going to make you rich. It hasn't made anybody rich. No actors, no business people, nobody, no sports, no athletes. You know, everybody's got to have a plan, and everybody's got to have a system, and you stay focused on it. And there's an old expression, you may remember this, Carol: plan your work and work your plan. Plan your work and work your plan. And I just remember that from over 30 years ago. I never forgot it. And then Brian Tracy was one of my favorite inspirational speakers many years ago. And the other thing, what he says is, if it's to be, it's up to me. And that means create something inside of you that's so compelling that it's overflowing in you, and wherever you go, people feel it. People feel the goodness, the joy, the happiness. They just feel it, and they don't know why they want to be next to you or talk to you, but they do. And that is that deep level of feeling of gratitude. And by the way, I had a call with Carol last night with a lady who owns a very successful spa. And she was just so excited. She's from Eastern Europe. And she was just so excited. And I got to tell you, I'm expecting big things from her. So anyway, but there's spas in your area. Once this coronavirus thing is lifted, if you're not going to the spas in your area, you're missing out. If you're not going to the naturopathic doctors, the chiropractors, the acupuncturists, if you're not going and talking to them, you're missing out. And you're probably scared to go. But you know what? They're people just like you. They're people just like you. And some of them are really open. If somebody's just an egotistical jerk, don't talk to them. You don't need that. Decide. Intend your segment. The segment of my day is going to be great. It's going to be this, that. And sometimes, for instance, if you're going from 12 to 3 out there, everybody you talk to was a jerk. And one of those jerks calls you back a couple of days later and really was just having a bad day. They weren't really a jerk. They were just somebody was having a bad day. And all of a sudden, that person sponsors in, and they just kill this thing. They just make LifeWave their life mission. And so it's really about you. It's what are you feeling in your heart? What are you feeling in your mind? What are you thinking about? If you're thinking about, you know, scary things, what am I going to do? My other business is not doing well. Blah, 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 blah. That is very, very counterproductive towards your success. So stay focused, folks. Stay focused, whatever it takes. And everybody has a different way of doing that. But you got to decide how important you are to you, how important your business is to you. Your business is a living, breathing entity. And if it's not big and strong, then maybe it needs more time, Or maybe you are not raising your child, because a business is like a child. The first 3 or 4 months are critical to seeing it succeed. It's like many experts in the network marketing field say the first 90 days is one of the most critical things to the life of your business. So in that first 90 days, did you share the business with people? Did you share the product with people? Did you do that? Did you do it efficiently? Did you do it lucidly? Did they receive your message? Did they receive it? You can say it, but did they receive it? That's why you ask questions. Like I'll always say at the end of an answer to their question, I'll say, does that make sense to you, Bill? Did you understand what I meant when I said this? Do you understand that metaphor? And I follow up with questions after I answer one of their other questions. This way I have that connection back and forth. And then also, people don't know how much you care. Excuse me. People don't know how much you know until they know how much you care. So you could be an encyclopedia of LifeWave, but if you don't show care and importance to that person, they're not going to receive your message. So anyway, is there anybody else who has a comment or anybody else who has a question?
Thank you, Francis. This is Carol again. Could I give a product endorsement?
Do you want a product endorsement, did you say?
No, could I give one?
Could you get a product endorsement? I'm not sure what that means.
No, I'd like to give a testimonial.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I got you. Sure, that's great, Carol.
Okay.
Please do.
Okay, so Francis generously sent me some patches, and also to my son. He's a longtime friend, and I haven't been on them that long, but I will tell you that almost from day one, I'm sleeping better. I feel this incredible joy. So earlier when Francis said he's reached deeper levels of spirituality, that might sound like hogwash, but I know it to be true. I'm experiencing it, and I have a bunch of energy, and I'm getting a bunch of things done. And now I'm going to give an endorsement about Francis. So he's been a friend for a long, long time, a good friend. I know him well. He's always been charming and funny and successful and hilarious. But there's definitely a depth to him that I've never seen before. So amen to that. Thank you, Francis.
Oh, amen.
That's just an act, Carol. I just developed another act. No, thank you.
You're so good at
very
it.
kind. That's a very, very kind statement and edification. That was very sweet of you, Carol. And you know, I got to tell you, when you almost die, something changes in you. You have a gratitude. You have a gratitude about another chance. And the other thing is you have a gratitude about really knowing who loves you. And there's a number of people on this phone that were really there for me when I was so ill. And you know, all of you know that I love you so much. And many of you I've loved for many, many years. And when I was down and really down, you were there for me. And so I'm glad to be here for you. And it's a wonderful time we're in, guys. What do you mean wonderful? This virus and blah, blah, blah. No. This is so great because you got to stay in the house and you got to get introspective. You got to really take a look inside of yourself about what your life has been, where it is now, and where you want it to go. And really, it's up to you. You can decide that. You can put those thoughts, feelings, beliefs, attitudes, choices, and decisions and line them up and create this wonderful future you're looking for. So we're all in this together. We're all in, I know it sounds very cliche, but we are. And this team is so powerful. It is just getting bigger and better all the time. And I'm so grateful. And if nobody else has a comment or has a question, maybe we can, say, see you later. Not goodbye, but see you later. For next week, there'll be a surprise guest next week, the week after, and we're just going to keep doing these calls over and over again. By the way, there are many calls in LifeWave these days, and you're going to find maybe one or two gems in all these calls that's going to turn everything. It's going to turn the light on. It's going to throw the gasoline on the fire. And I want that for you, because you deserve it. And anyway, so no more comments, no more questions. Then Katrina, why don't we just finish up our day here?
All righty. Thanks, Francis. Thanks to all of you who participated in the call. And for those of you who will be listening to the recording, if you have any questions, you can email me at patchformore@gmail.com. So that's patchformore@gmail.com. Thanks, everybody.
Katrina, you're an awesome leader. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Katrina and John.
This is a wonderful call. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.
Blessings.